Aakash Odedra. I've trained in Kathak and Bharatanatyam, turn a door handle to open a door. So my obsession with dance was always there. And then I formally started training in England under Nilima Devi and Chitralekha Bola. And then years and years and years later, I came to India to train as well with Kumudini Lakya. And I'm born in the United Kingdom. I'm the fourth generation outside of India. And I suppose for me, Kathak and the classical arts became something that made me feel connected to a heritage that felt very familiar, even though I was born in a land that had nothing really to do with the subcontinent. I suppose the mythology of the gods, the goddesses, this world of imagination is something that really captured me and captivated me. And Indian dance tied that world of imagination to the world of reality, almost like tying bells to your feet. Murmur and Inked are two productions that we ventured into. The reason for that is, for me, dance, years and years and years ago, dance styles were locked by the geographical boundary, wherever they came from. Kathak comes from India, so the use of the language was very important, as is Bharatanatyam, it's from India. So it's in a place, in an area where people understand the language. Then, as soon as dance started to take a global approach, when dance started to travel, we started to enter domains and areas where people didn't speak the language of Hindi, Urdu, or Brij Bhasha, or whatever it was. Especially Kathak, taking Kathak out of its context. In Kathak we're used to wearing bells, which is something we're trained with our whole life, and we hold on to them because they become a very sacred symbol. So what happens when you remove the bells? What happens when you start to speak Kathak and distort it and move it away and find a new ground for it? I wanted to challenge the negative connotations and stigmas attached to dyslexia. Because a lot of people think dyslexia means that you're very dumb, you're very slow, and I completely disagree with that. As many entrepreneurs, as Richard Branson, have dyslexia, but they still excel in the work that they do. And for me as well, someone who has dyslexia, who represents people with dyslexia, it was really important to be able to challenge this idea, because the dyslexic mind thinks 200 to 4,000 times faster than the average brain. They create these huge shapes, abstract shapes, which shift and form and evolve into different shapes. And I felt like it was really important because it related to the visual element of dyslexia. When you look at something, when you're looking at a board, you're seeing these things move around and things warping and changing, which for me was the advantage of dyslexia, because when you have dyslexia, you view the world differently. And I think different isn't bad. And in a society, especially in the 20th century, for me it's very sad that we measure the level of intellect through reading and writing. I think dance for me brought these elements into the physical. If I can say there's one person who I hold as an inspiration, someone has Madonna, the other person may have Michael Jackson, but for me, my absolute inspiration is a dancer, choreographer called Aditi Mangaldas. She is a choreographer and a dancer who has mesmerized me. She's one person I find I've taken a lot of inspiration from. There are dancers, there are lots and lots of dancers and people who move. Movement is a part of life. But when dance becomes interesting for me is when the person is able to move space.